Hello, and welcome to EDU 506. I am Dr. Sean M. Slander. A little bit about me. This is my third year teaching for Concordia. In my other life, I am a education director, which is effectively a principal down at the Faribault Correctional Facility in Minnesota. I spent just over 10 years teaching there before I promoted. Um, my home life. We live in Savage. I have two wonderful little kiddos. They are in preschool and first grade. Um, I also have a very large dog and a wonderful wife, so you might see either of them walk through the background of my videos at any time. See what else here. Um, I am an Eagles fan, so I apologize to all of you for that. Lifelong Eagles fan. Um, Sorry, my dog is moving around over there. Well, let's get started. So, first thing I want to show everybody in our course here, under welcome, you have welcome and syllabus. If you click on syllabus right there, it will populate. Please, please, please review this week. It will help you a lot to know what is going on. It shows our schedule. I expect initial discussion board posts in on Thursday by midnight and responses to peers Saturday by midnight. All of our written assignments are due Saturday at midnight, except for the last one, which is due on a Monday because of the short week. I generally do my grading between Sunday and Tuesday. So realistically speaking, with discussion boards, as long as you get them in by early Sunday, that's probably okay. If something is going to be late, please just shoot me an email. I don't hold that against you. I don't take away points as long as you let me know what's going on. Please remember that your initial responses should be at least 200 words, and unless otherwise stated, they should include a citation in APA format, and your responses to cohort peers should be at least 100 words. Basically, just please be substantive. We will have 4 assignments this semester, big writing assignments, and by big, I mean like at least 2 pages. They are all listed here. They are all also in Blackboard, or sorry, D2L. They should also all have due dates on them. If there is a discrepancy between the due date and what you think the due date should be, please let me know, as they are all manually entered, and it is not unheard of for me to make a mistake when entering those. If there is any differences between the syllabus and D2L that you notice, please let me know right away, as sometimes things change in the D2L skeleton and I am not informed right away. So the best way for me to fix that and let everybody know is if you email me right away, and then I will send out an announcement to everybody in the course. Down here are the rubrics that I do use. In general, I give more feedback the farther down to the right you are. If you're in the exemplary area, I'm probably not going to give you the most feedback other than to note what was great or some small areas for improvement. I generally don't take off a ton of points if you're at least attempting to do the correct mechanics in APA formatting. And I will give feedback on that. So as long as I'm not giving you the same feedback on every assignment and you're making improvements there, I'm pretty happy. Please just review this all. Note that I do view myself more as a facilitator than somebody who is going to sit here and pontificate to you every week. These opening remarks, I try to keep under 10 minutes because I know that everybody has a very busy life. So here we are, Trauma-Informed Practices and Resilience. These are our 2 textbooks, Supporting and Educating Traumatized Students and Trauma Stewardship. Both of these are pretty foundational and have a lot of great information in them. Reminder that the program essential question is, in light of what is known about how children learn, how shall professional educators best promote resilience and recovery for the children and their families who have experienced traumatic events? This will come up in every course and a lot of assignments, so always keep it in your mind. I am hoping for all of you that we're going to be doing andragogy, a deeper dive into how to do this work, and that when you're doing your assignments, um, you're not just talking about theory, you're thinking about how to apply it. Application is what is very important in this program. As I mentioned earlier, I am a facilitator. I'm not going to be giving you long lectures. I am happy to support and guide you. Typically within 24 hours. If there's an exception, I will try to let you guys know ahead of time. I will respond to any questions you have for me. The best way to communicate with me is via email. My Concordia email, I have it listed as the last slide. If you're having lots of issues and you want to meet with me, I am very happy to schedule one-on-one Zoom meetings. If needed, I believe I can also schedule a Zoom meeting for you and some cohort members. At this time, I'm not sure how to schedule it and not have me be the host. Moving on, the weekly schedule. Just a reminder that Sunday is kind of scheduled in as a rest and relaxation day. But personally, that's the day I use to grade and do readings. So up to you how you do it. My personal suggestion, having done master's and doctorate level work, is to try to stay a week ahead of the course in your readings so that when you're doing your discussion boards, you just have to go back and look at the readings. You don't have to do them as you are trying to think of a post. All of the discussion boards should be posted except for my initial remarks. I try to have those posted early morning on Sunday. I try to generally record Sunday mornings and post by noon. There are some weeks that it may be up earlier. If it is Monday and it is not up yet, please shoot me an email, as that generally means there was a problem with the upload. In general, what we're going to be doing is there will be a selection of chapters for readings and possibly some videos every week. When there is a bigger chunk of readings or longer videos, I will try to make this video much shorter. There are weekly discussion boards every week except for week 8. And you are expected to participate with your colleagues as well as posting your own responses to my opening remarks. The opening remarks, you do not need to respond to colleagues unless I specifically ask you to in these videos. As I was looking through the semester, I don't think there's any weeks that I'll be doing that, but that may change depending on how things are going. There are 4 written assignments: trauma and manifesting traumatic experiences, interventions in the community and societal trauma, implementing and sustaining trauma-sensitive classrooms, and last, creating an action plan for student resilience. These build on each other. They are connected topics, but you won't necessarily be able to take your writing from one to move it to the next one. So it doesn't build on itself in that you're just writing one long paper as much as the topics are very connected. Sneak peek here at the first writing assignment that is due November 8th. It is to analyze the progression of trauma-informed schools and how the traumatic experiences of students manifest in school settings today. It needs to be written in third person and include the following: an introduction or purpose of the writing, analyze in very broad strokes the progression of trauma-informed schools as we know the terminology today. Remember, you do need to cite the research to support this. This should be very heavily based in the research, not just in personal experiences, as it isn't written in third person. Discuss how the traumatic experience of students manifest in schools today. That is not to say you shouldn't include some personal experiences, but make sure that you're not saying I or any other first person words. after citing something in research, you can include a first person experience by saying something like, in the school the writer works at, or you don't even have to introduce it at that. In some cases, this has happened. Make sure you include a conclusion. The whole paper should be APA formatted, including a cover page, and excluding the cover page and the reference page, 2 pages of written content. So this is not a very long paper. Make sure you include headings. Refer back to your APA manual. If you don't have one, that is the one book I would very much recommend that you do purchase to have a hard copy of. It is very useful moving through the program to have that in hand versus having to look it up all the time. So this week is just an introductory week. I would like you all to try to develop a personal plan to guide yourself through the course. Make sure you can access everything. It should all be available online. This week, you just need to watch this video, post your response to the opening remarks question, which is just to introduce yourself, such as where you work, what your role is, etc. Please also include how many courses you've taken in this program. Concordia very recently switched from a cohort model to a more open enrollment model. So it's just very helpful for me to know how many courses in the trauma program you have taken. Please read the course syllabus and then complete the discussion boards. This week, you do not have to respond to peers. I just want to know what is a learning outcome or objective you have for this course. Be specific. If possible, cite a source. You don't have to cite a source if there isn't one. And you do not need to dialogue with cohort peers. However, if you do, start building those relationships with your peers. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm not taking away any points if you don't. So just know that dialoguing with cohort peers this week is not required, but it still is recommended. Just talked about that. That is it for this week. I do check my email as regularly as possible. And my email is there, mslander@csp.edu. I look forward to the semester with all of you, and please email me with any questions you have.